100%. Well, how do I change it?
I'm not sure. All right. Hey, everybody. This is live for us. We're
live.
I was saying, like,
I don't even know what. No, I have like an insane screen. What?
Heather's having a little bit of problems right now. But okay, anyway. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to our weekly read along live. I was having some issues before this, all ready to go, and I went to update my computer, and it was a full system update, so I had to grab my work computer and do that. So I'm a little discombobulated. Stuff isn't where it normally is, but that's okay. We're gonna everybody say hello. I don't know if Heather hasn't fixed yet, but okay. We're gonna mute it.
I've tried to troubleshoot as best I can in the little private chat here, so we'll see what happens.
We are working on it.
Look at the speaker.
We're so happy that you joined us.
What's the speaker look like?
Oops, I'm gonna go ahead and mute on my end here while she does that. So we're not talking over each other. Anyway, but we're happy that both Heather and Shay joined their first times joining the read along. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, super excited. Naima will be joining us at some point too. So when she comes in, I'll pull her up, but I'll let us start saying hello and then say what book we're going to be reading. And then we'll go ahead and jump into that. So Shay.
Okay. So I am Shay. My channel is Shay Geeks Out. I talk a lot about books in general, lots of romance, especially lately. And then I do talk a lot about manga, and a lot of the manga I talk about is also romance-centered. So I talk about romance a lot on my channel. And so it's a lot of fun. You're welcome to come hang out with me anytime because it's kind of my little geeky corner of the internet. And then tonight I will be reading To Marry a Scottish Laird by Lindsay Sams. I haven't read too much in this series yet. I've really only read one of them, but I have like 4 on my shelf. So I'm like, I better pick one of these up and get going with it.
Nice. Yeah, I've bought a bunch of those, but I haven't read any yet. Bree.
Hi, I am Bree, and my channel is In Love and Words, and I am actually this isn't really a romance, it's a YA fantasy, I guess. It is The Last Magician. And I picked that one. Yeah, so who was it? A Clockwork Reader. She started talking about this a while ago, and I was like, I need that. And then I found it at my used bookstore, so I picked it up. And then I'm also going to be listening to the audiobook while I do this and doing my nails because my nails are a hot mess. But it's a YA fantasy-ish. There's time travel involved and a lot of heists and things like that. There's a slight romance in it, but it's not super romance heavy, so it's a little hard for me to get into, but I'm enjoying it. It's pretty good.
Is that part of a series, Bree?
It is. So I think there are 3 books in the series.
I remember seeing that first one like a while ago, but then
it made the rounds on the Booktubers page.
Yeah, then I just haven't heard about it recently. So I know what the
yeah, it's been a while. I picked it because I have my TBR jar, and I have all of the books that are on my bookshelf that I haven't read yet in my TBR jar, and it just happened to pick this one. So that's why I'm reading.
You're disciplined. I could never do that.
All my historicals I've bought in the last like 3 months. So that
I think we all need to do that.
I know.
Well, right, hey everyone, I'm Kayla from On the Fritz, and I'm reading You Had Me at Ola. I started it last Wednesday, but I also started watching Outlander, so that's been taking up a lot of my time. I'm on season 2, and I thought of you. It's a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more romancy, fluffy, not fluffy, but like not as dark as it is.
You don't find Outlander in the romance section. You find it in like the literary fiction section.
Yeah. See, I think I've always just seen romance people talk about it. And were the books up for like Goodreads romance?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Goodreads always gets it wrong.
That's because the best book husband ever to be created is in those books. Even though it's a historical fiction or fan, like whatever, he's still the book husband of the world. So
yeah. Like I know it has like the building bricks of like time travel, romance, but that last season 1 finale, I was like, oh my gosh, like that was that was intense.
Yeah.
So
Season 5 just came out today on the special box set, so I'm gonna dive into that. But all right. Well, Heather is still flipping all around. Let's see if she.
Poor Heather.
Hey Heather, can you hear me? Can you hear me? No.
Heather, can you hear us?
Heather, can you hear us?
Listen. Okay, I cannot hear you through my computer at all. So now I'm like listening to you through my phone. So I'm watching it.
So tell us what you're reading.
I can hear you on my phone like a peasant.
Wait, it'll catch you.
yeah, there's gonna be that lag.
Yeah, but well, no. Everything is a disaster.
Well, she's. I put on my
Never invited me.
what to read. So this one won. I'm starting the 3rd book in the O'Malley series.
I really love Katie Robert. I haven't read a lot of the indie ones that everybody else has, but I love all her traditionally published stuff that I've read.
Yeah. See, and I haven't read many of those. So
Jen, I'm shocked that you haven't read everything from her yet. Like I thought
Seriously, her Dragon
My
Shifter
time.
romances? Why haven't you gotten on that?
I'm taking my time, okay?
That makes sense.
I've already read everything Presley Cole, except I have 3 historicals left. Like I got to space this out. So, yeah. Heather, did you hear us yet? Maybe if I message her.
Is she? Oh no, she blinked. Look, is she?
Or is she frozen now?
I can like hear you on my phone.
Well, then answer me.
Like you're not doing the same thing on my phone as you are on the computer, so I don't know what's live.
She'll answer us eventually. It'll be fine.
She's reading something, guys. Just we're waiting on the edge of our seat to find out.
All right, we'll go ahead and get this. Hopefully, by the time we
I don't know. What am I supposed to say? What I'm reading?
Yes.
That's not gonna work. Okay.
Tell us.
I feel like I'm so delayed. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so I'm in the middle of a duet. I started the 2nd book, and it's one of those duets where the boy it's like a high school senior bully romance, and the boy like falls in love with the girl and but is using her for revenge and doesn't love her enough to not use her for revenge, and then
Those boys.
and then decides that he does love her, and then it's too late. Somebody else like already took his plan, and so he screws up epically, and now the girl's mad at him, and I'm just waiting for them to love each other. That's all I want out of life. Anyways, it's called this. The first one is Taunt Her, and the second one is Tame Him. Let me find my camera. Here, this. See? Like Caitlin Dare. I've never read her before, but that's really good. I'm just really mad right now.
All right, I'm gonna put the time up. We're gonna read until 7:50, or 8, whatever time it is for you. 40 minutes from now, and I'm gonna go ahead. Everybody, mute ourselves, and we'll get to this after some fun interlude here. Whoop whoop. All right. How was that?
Productive for me.
It always goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Once I like focus, which is pretty good. Oop, she's gonna try again, maybe. Poor Heather.
I wonder if we'll ever be able to convince her to come back on the live.
Oh, it's hard. I know I had problems the one time. Oop, she's back. We'll see. Oop. See if this works.
Yes.
Can you hear us, Heather? Yay! Yeah, it's just hard. I know I had problems on mine the one time that we did this too, because it ended up synced with my Bluetooth headphones in the other room, and I couldn't figure it out. So
So sure.
it was really
this
finicky.
is exactly what
but-
would happen.
So
You put it out into the
We're none
universe
of
and
us
it came true.
That was a bad.
it's okay. You just have to get a little phone
I do,
stand,
but
and then
I
you
was
can
all
just
like, I read on my phone. And this really good.
yeah.
I was like, it's fine. They said use the laptop. You guys led me.
Yeah. Well, Naima, you were hopped on halfway through. What were
so
you?
I started off A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and then I was like, okay, I can't get into this, so I started reading Wicked Princess by A. Jade. That's like the third book in her series. So yeah, I was studying. I was like, oh crap, and I randomly went on YouTube and I saw you guys live. I was like,
I'm supposed to be on that.
That's okay.
yeah.
Nobody we just slipped you on in there. It's fine. This was good. I've put so much time in between these ones because I was trying to stretch them out, and I need to not do that because I forgot the names of all the siblings. So I was like, oh crap, who's who? I'm confused. I need to not do that. But it was good. She started with a one-night stand in the back alley on the first chapter. So I was like,
Yes.
oh, I love you when you do this for me. How'd your nails turn out, Bree? Let us know.
Yes.
Well done. See, I did not paint this finger because I'm scared. It's like a bronzy.
Is it
Yeah.
okay. It almost looks like rose gold in the camera.
Yeah, a little bit.
Cool.
And I only have this much left of my book, you guys.
Oh, so you better still finish it.
That's hard to
I'll
stop.
finish it tonight. It is The Last Magician.
No, I
have you read this
haven't.
name? I feel like you'd like this.
Okay.
I think you would really, really like this book. It's not super romance heavy, but it's just a really good book overall.
okay.
It's a YA fantasy.
This has so many tropes already that I love that I'm thriving and living my best life right now. It's got she's cross-dressing as a man because she has to deliver something, and she has to rescue him because he's rescued her, and so it's we owe each other kind of thing. And so he's helping her get from England to Scotland, so there's travel, so they're forced to spend time together. And he's already discovered that she's a woman because she went to bathe and had to undress and all that kind of stuff. And
I love it.
Full of things I love. So I'm just thriving and living my best life.
That sounds good.
And you have all the Highlanders speak and talk. And
Yeah.
Oh, I love
it just adds to everything. It's just, thank you, Lindsay fans, is all I'm going to say.
We read another book traveling from England to Scotland this week, didn't you?
Yes. I love it. I love
fun.
the romance almost as much as I love the friendship in that book. The
You read
Secret.
The Secret.
Oh, okay. Everybody's reading The
On
Secret.
Sunday.
I've read 3 other books in that series, but I have not read The Secret.
What? I'm excited to read Ransom because I really
have
like
read Ransom. Ransom's fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
So that I'm gonna read that. I found a special edition of Ransom at a thrift store this summer. So
Yeah, I've read Ransom
Excited.
and I've read Gentle Warrior, which was actually really interesting. That one was more interesting than Swoony to me. It was just
yeah,
almost a lot more political play than I was expecting for that particular one, but it was good.
Nice.
And then I have Castles. I have not read it yet.
I have The Gift and Ransom and one other one by her too. And I mean, obviously I read The Bride already. Kayla. Kayla, it's so good.
Read it.
Stop putting it off.
I know. Well, it's because I need to like sit with it. And
I mean, I read it all in one
and-
afternoon, so that's why. I mean, I don't have kids or a husband, so I can sit down and. Oh no,
I
Stella.
have a husband, but I don't have the kiddos.
Sorry, Stella. I'll watch it later.
Yeah, that's a little early. I forget there's one in the morning most of the time.
I know. I'll do one of them later for you. I did these earlier in the afternoon so that Lynn can join, but we'll make her stay up late. She doesn't mind staying up late.
The Secret?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
You should read it.
okay. Oh, wait, when is your live stream?
Sunday.
You've got time. You could totally get it done by Sunday.
You'll like fly through it. And Izzy said the Audible was on sale for $5 too. I don't know
I think it's nice.
Audible confuses me. Like I didn't even know you could like buy a book.
Yeah.
Like I thought only the credits. I don't even. I have to like do, like research.
Well, 'cause, like I mean,
A lot
I
of people talk about Audible Escape, so they forget how actual Audible works.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Go ahead.
I know there's a whole bunch going on with that stuff changing too, but if you have the Audible like account where you get like a credit every month, it also gives you 30 to 50% off of the audiobooks, and then sometimes there'll be deals where you can buy them. So like I bought all of the
Or
Immortals.
they'll do random deals where they put a book out for free, and if you download it, you get to keep it.
I bought all the Immortals After Dark were on sale for like $9 when they're normally like 30. So that's why I keep the account, is because they'll have stuff. But you're right, it's confusing, and then they're changing Audible Escape and there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's worth it to
They're
me.
changing Audible Escape? Oh, crap. I like how Audible Escape works.
They're getting rid of it completely.
No.
But aren't they merging it with their other stuff?
I asked them because I messaged them today. I was like, tell me they're all going to merge. And they're like, no, some of them won't go over into whatever it's called, Audible Plus or whatever it is. So we're
Sad.
Wow. I wonder if authors aren't getting compensated or something.
That would be my only guess.
complain about it, that they were not getting paid well.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine. Because it basically turns into like a library.
right. But I mean, with Kindle Unlimited, how do they still get paid per page, I think, that people read. So I don't know why they don't just do that the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
hours
know.
listened or something.
Sure. Like by. Yeah, because that's a lot of work, especially if you're a self-published author and you pay for that audiobook to be made yourself. Like your publishers are paying for it. So, yeah, that would make me sad. I only just got Audible Escape like 2 months ago, and I love it.
It has been like my saving grace ever since they started it, because I've had it basically since the beginning. Like I've gone through so much of Tessa Bailey's backlist on there. Like I've gone through a ton through Audible Escape.
Yeah, I was so excited to when I went on Audible, because like and saw that there's a book that I really wanted to read, and Audible Escape. They had a lot.
Their library was huge. That's why I loved it so much.
Yeah.
But sometimes they would only have like the first 3 available on Audible Escape, and then the rest you had to do with credit, and that was a little obnoxious, but it was a good like start to the series, so I could decide at that point if I wanted to.
Well, and that's the
physically
good
invest
thing
in
about
them or
Audible
whatever.
Escape. That's the good thing about Audible Escape and Kindle Unlimited is you can try it and see if you like it without feeling guilty for spending a lot of money on it.
That's exactly what I did with Marriage for One. Yeah, Marriage for One. I read that on Kindle Unlimited, loved it, put it on my wish list, and then my birthday was in August, and so a bunch of my friends like sent me stuff. So like the day I put it on my wish list, somebody bought it and sent it to me.
I
already have the physical copy and stuff. It's really fun.
Nice. Yeah, I saw a bunch of someone was asking me this. Sorry, so I'll put it up there. I wouldn't say that I love it, Renee, but I picked it for our incest month of Taboo Book Club because I think it's fascinating. So yeah, she was asking a bunch of times, so I didn't want to ignore it. But it's a thing. We're gonna talk about it in
There's a whole like step sibling trope within manga that happens pretty often, actually. So I can give you some recommendations for titles to check out if you really like that.
Yes, yeah, and we step sibling is much different than other things.
Yeah, there's other things too. Like we'll talk when we're not live, and I will enlighten you
about it. Obviously, it's on my channel. I had to private one of my the first time I've ever privated a video because my family freaked the shit out. So, yep, that happened.
I want that story. What happened?
Yeah, I'll tell that. They won't watch this. Well, I posted it. I named it Familial Love, right? Because I didn't want incest in the title.
You had to private that one?
Yes, I'll tell this. I had to. So that being the thing, some of my family thought that I meant like family relationships.
Oh,
family relationships. Because I've made a video like that before for Mother's Day. I did a like family, family.
Oh, no. So they misinterpreted the title of what you were talking about.
My dad watched it, and I was immediately freaked out because my dad doesn't comment on my videos, and he made a comment, not about that, but he just made a comment, and I was like, shh. My dad watched it. Then he sent it to my aunt, who is my most like crusading. She's amazing.
Oh, no.
This isn't Disney here, but my aunt has some trauma in her past from things that I'm not going to say on here. That's not mine to say, but because of things. Plus, she felt that lately the content on my channel has been too dark. And so she messaged me just a bunch of stuff of like, hey, this isn't good. What kind of stuff are you reading? This is really bad. All the things that like none of my family has bugged me about because they ignore my channel. And it was getting spread around to my family members. So I made it unlisted, and I put the link to it in my Discord. So if any of my like viewers still want to watch it for the recommendations, they can. So I'm going to unprivate it like after it's down a little ways so people can still look it up because there aren't a lot of incest recommendation videos. I get it. The point is,
you can't really call it that on YouTube.
It's a taboo. Like that. I'm not saying that I want that to happen, just like I don't want there to be student-teacher relationships or coach and kid. Like I don't want them to exist, but I think
enjoying it as fiction is a totally different thing than actually wanting those things in real life. And a lot of people can't draw that line, and so they just don't deal with any of it. So
yeah,
it's a really interesting thing.
Yeah, and I know where she was coming from too, because I mean my faith is really important to me, but also I've talked about this with Avery, I've talked about this with other people on here where it's like I can separate the two, and I don't like I'm not a Christian because I read romance and that I want to talk about it. And
welcome to my life.
Yeah, but I also understood where my aunt was coming from because she hasn't been watching my like journey of how I've expanded what I talk about. So yeah, so there's the tea on why that video got private. It was a bummer because it was doing really good too, because nobody like makes that video, but I knew it was gonna happen. I knew someday because my family knows I have the channel, but over the years they've stopped watching it because I did fantasy and whatever, and so then for them to find it again and see
you're in the depths of dark romance.
Yeah. So, but that also was like, I am reading some lighter books this month and it's been good. So it was kind of good that they freaked out because I've been reading like fantasy and like some lighter romance, and it has really helped my like mood and stuff. So
honestly, like last week, I basically only read Christmas romances, and it was like just this happy-go-lucky week. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I read Mary.
I'm like, I need a break. I need a couple dark things. Like, give me something else for a minute.
Yeah. So anyway, there's the tea. But I messaged Tamika and I was like, Tamika, it's a good thing you're hosting this one because like I have to bow out of this and then I'll be on your list. And thankfully, the next couple months we're not doing anything as taboo. We were like, this is the most taboo we're gonna go anyway because we're not gonna do the some of the other ones that exist. Like her and I talked about like, what are the things that are too taboo for us to do? And we were like, you know, necrophilia and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yep. Hey, it exists. I read The Skeleton King and I'm disturbed and I don't ever want to go that deep again. Like, it's okay to have a line. And I feel like I've made it my brand that I don't have a line, but like, I want a line. I'm going to redraw the line. Like, I do want a line to exist. So, but I think the incest conversation will be interesting because we're going to talk through this. Like, there are some taboos where you can be like, hey, as long as people are of age and they're consenting,
like age gaps.
Taboo is in your head. Yeah. Or student teacher when they're college, or, you know, boss and employee where like it's still consenting, even if
there's the whole like BDSM level where some people consider something like that taboo, where I personally don't so much. So
yes, Danny, that's why I did YA recommendations. I
feel like I've got to punish my food here for a bit for my family to back off.
Which is funny because I used to, that was all that I made.
But
that's okay. Sweet Romances is doing good. But anyway, what was I saying? And yeah, so they're just, they're like should be a line for certain things. But when we're talking about true taboo, like to me, incest is one where like, this is gross. It's gross. And it's not kink shaming. It's like, it's gross. Don't do it. It's bad for you. Like you can use whatever, like, oh, but there's psychological reasons why you're attracted and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there is, but that doesn't make the romance then like copacetic because you have mental reasons why. Like it's still not healthy. Whereas I think a BDSM relationship can be perfectly healthy and healthy. Like that's different. So that's where I think the conversation will be awesome. Sorry, I just ranted. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I'm just curious how those books make it okay, or like how is there a happily ever after? Like I don't.
Yeah. That's usually it involves a lot
on the book.
Yeah, usually a lot of that involves somebody in the book being like, well, I think it's fine as long as you're both consenting. Someone will say that. Or it involves them not actually really being blood related, or it involves them hiding who they are. You know, like those are the three like different things. And it depends because like cousins, that's not technically illegal in a lot of states, where some states it is. Whereas like siblings is if you're blood, or, you know, because if it's illegal, then I feel like the workaround in the book isn't great. But if it's legal because you're not like, then the people are just like, oh, it's a happily ever after because nobody cares. Where it's like, that's not real. People care. Like in some of the books, like, yeah. So I've only read 4 that they were actually blood related, and I've read about 10 total. I was purposely looking for them, and they were hard to find. I've only read 4 where they were actually blood related. The rest, it was all like either they were lied to that they were related, so it's surprise we're not, or it was not like illegal because they weren't super close. So usually it ends up being their step related. So then that's not actually incest. People can call it incest if they want, but it's not. It's still questionable.
By its definition, it's not, but it's still kind of icky.
I made up this title. I was like, there's social incest and then there's blood incest. So that'll be something we talk about on the channel too, is like, or on the live too, is that there's the ones where they grow up. Like if this person is your stepdad from the age of 1,
yeah,
and they are like your dad. To me, that's like nature versus nurture. Like they nurtured you as your dad. Like they're your dad.
That's gross.
And if they change into thinking you're sexy, I'm like, it's hard for me to believe you weren't grooming them if that's the case.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah. So anyway, it's interesting. That's what I wanted Taboo Book Club. That's what me and Tamika wanted to do, is like really talk about it. like we are going to do Step Brothers as its own and like Stepfather as its own. Like those are going to be its own month. So that's why like incest month is blood relations. September is incest month. It's happening.
I'll put it on my calendar.
Yeah.
Calendar alert.
Okay, I want to be brave enough to talk about it. And I think it's funny in a way to me that like the Wild and the Free got banned from Amazon when I found
Stella has the perfect title.
Incestember.
I love it.
Nice. Love it.
We love to see it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yep. Yeah, Hale. So yeah, Hale's the one that I wasn't comfortable with that one at all. That's brother and sister. I read that one. But anyway, I found some on Amazon to me that were more disturbing than Wild and Free were by a lot. But because Amazon's banning system like doesn't have direct guidelines.
Uh-huh.
Because Tortured Whispers, that was blood incest. And like half of Daniel James's are available on Amazon and half of them aren't.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Through the window.
So it's all about if someone complains about it, right? If someone reads it and complains about it. That's what happened to the Balance series. Someone complained about it, where I was like, that's not even the most disturbing book about a minor that I've read on Amazon, but she got banned because she was popular and people banned her. So it's interesting.
And that's
Okay.
usually a mom who finds their teenager reading it and they go on a rampage.
Which I would probably too, but you gave your teenager access to their Kindle, so
Right.
sorry.
I was talking with Nicole about this. Like, I wish Amazon would do like, if it's one of these like taboo, they want to ban it, just make it so like you have to like verify your age. I mean, I know you can lie about it, but like some kind of like checks and balance system.
Some barrier, some sort.
Or
Yeah.
you purchase it. I mean, so that way they're still available for those who can and want to read it, and it's not available for those that shouldn't be reading it, I guess. Instead
Or
of just,
have
like, putting
it be like if they have their own account, a parent can add some blocks to it where like these certain things aren't available.
Yeah. Like if your teen could have their profile with their age on it, and then as the author, you just picked what age level it was allowed. Like, I mean, that's hard, but I agree that as a parent, if your kid is under 18, you get to make the decisions. But that's just how like my mom raised me. I don't have any kids yet myself, so I'm like, the day you turn 18, read all the things.
Honestly, and I'm of the opinion, if you think your kid can handle it, then fine, introduce it to them yourself. But
yeah,
to let them go unchecked on the internet until they're legal is a little scary.
Yeah, I think it's a parenting decision.
I think so too.
Yeah.
As a parent.
I mean, my mom would rip out the love scenes of books that she was sharing with me. She straight up ripped it out. And she thought I wouldn't notice because she did like really carefully.
Like Mom,
look in my room. This was when I was 16 too. She wouldn't let me read the Clan of the Cave Bear until I was 18. And I was like, you know what I've been reading? That the Clan of the Cave Bear is nothing. So I thought they were these like horribly like dirty, nasty caveman books. And then I read them at like 19 and I was like, the Dark Hunter series by Sherilyn Kenyon.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, yeah, she did, Shannon. She ripped out. There was two. I can't even remember. It was like a crime book we were sharing. Like she was like, oh, I think you really like this. And there was a love scene and she had like, I was reading and the words.
But then if she wants to read it again, she's just without the love scene too. Like that does not make sense to my brain.
She doesn't reread books. My mom, she doesn't. But I was like, oh my gosh, like they're laying on the bed and then they're waking. And I was like, could be fade to black. But then I looked and literally you couldn't tell it when it was open. You know, like she had done such a good job, but when you like closed it, you could see where it was. You could tell there was like one page missing, and I was like, "Did you really rip out sexy? Like I'm 12? Like I'm 16?
Wow, right?
I'm sure it just helped her conscious. See, that's the thing of like the parent that I don't want to be. Where my mom was a great mom, but I mean, it was like if I don't see it, it's not happening, right?
Right.
And I was like, I wish for like my mental health that my mom had been more like, hey, it's not that these things are bad or dirty, but like you're 13. So let's just keep it in your age range for a little longer. Right. And I don't know how she could have done that, but I wish she would have just talked to me about it instead of just like ripping it out. Like I wish she would have explained it. So,
Funny story about parent censorship. So my parents had recorded The Princess Bride off TV when it used to run on TV when we were little tiny children, like 3 and 4. And so they censored the ROUS's scene. And I had no clue. Yeah, they thought it was too intense for our age.
Isn't
and so
that movie
It's PG-13, I think.
It's not 13. I'm pretty sure.
At the very least, it's PG.
They say bitch. That's the only swear word.
That's why I think it's 13. But anyway. So, anyways, they did this really choppy, like, record edit as they recorded it off the TV. And I had no clue until they bought me a DVD copy for my birthday when I was older. And I was watching it in the room with all my friends. I'm like, this is different. They changed it. All my friends are like, no, they didn't. And so I went in the other room and I'm like, you censored this. They're like, yeah, you were 3. Of course we censored it. So that was my embarrassing, funny censor story from my
got the uncut version.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. The Princess Bride.
Okay.
My parents were the opposite for me. I was 3 and I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff, but I'm also the youngest of 4. So by the time they got to me, they were just like, I don't even care. Just do it.
Just like, peace out. You're fine.
The first movie I ever saw in theaters was Die Another Day. Wow. It was the first movie my dad took me to see when I was a kid. So they wanted to cut love scenes. My mom was cutting love scenes out of books, and my dad was like, I still have Anaconda. And he told me that at 5. I still have nightmares about that. Yep. All right. Well, I would yak for always. You know this. You're on my channel, so you were held captive a little bit, but this is what I always want these to be. Is like the reading's fun, but I want to talk about things. So thank you all so much for joining me. Yeah, like I said, Naima, if you read The Secret, hit me up. I got room on my live show. If you want to talk historical romance with us.
Okay.
You let me know. No pressure, but
all right.
I'm super excited to talk about it. It was just so cute. It was so cute. But all right. Well, thank you all for joining. Heather, you did great. You made it. It's good. Don't be scared of next time. You'll be fine. This is always tricky, but all right. Peace out, everybody. Have a good night. Happy reading.
Bye.
Bye.